people who are leaving for other reason, moving for other reasons, or who get treated differently under international and domestic laws. And obviously, it's a pretty timely topic, what with all everything that's going on in the world around immigration and migration patterns and things that are driving migration, and the way that climate change is also influencing the way people are moving, and the law is trying but not quite keeping up with some of the changes and things that are happening. So it's, to me, I really enjoy getting a chance to do that. It is very much everything we talk about then appears the next day in the newspaper headlines. And uh, a couple times, well, the couple times I've taught it, local news in Spain, local issues have also come up that are very closely connected to what we're talking about. And we uh, had one time while I was there, we took a visit to a uh, refugee detention center. We just went and took a look around to see what it was like, um, because it was very much in the news and very much what we were talking about. So uh, it's an exciting topic and one that I really enjoy teaching. And I have also really enjoyed just being in Spain doing this program. It's intense, which means we get to spend a lot of time together and get to know each other well and really dig deep into some of these issues. Um, and because of the way things are, like the conversation around these issues is different when you're in a different place. And I really enjoy the chance to do that in the class, and the students benefit from that. All right, so that's me, Serge Martinez. Looking forward to seeing you all sometime soon.
Thank you so much, Professor. We appreciate you. We are joined now by the second U.S. professor, Professor Stuart Paley. Hello there, Professor. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. Krista and I have already been introduced, as has Serge. So I just thought if you wanted to take a moment to tell us a little bit about your class, that would be fantastic. And then I know you're busy. You can sign off whenever you need to.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, and good morning, everybody who's on. Hope you're doing well. My name is Stuart Paley. I also live in Albuquerque, and I will be teaching this year in the summer Spain program. Professor Martin probably remembers better, but I think that I've been involved in this program for maybe 4 or 5 sessions now. Absolutely love the program. Excited to have you guys, and I would say for the program as a whole, no matter what classes you take, I think you're going to have a great time. It's really incredible. You learn a lot in a matter of 4 weeks, and as opposed to regular law classes, I think you learn more for real life things that you can use. Let's not ignore that you're in Spain, so it's beautiful and fun, and you have great dinners, wonderful museums, great travel on the weekends. Definitely, you'll make use of that. I think our sessions are set up to sponsor 3-day weekends. If I remember, classes are out Thursday afternoon so that we can all travel. And hanging out in Madrid is fantastic also. Let's see. International business transactions is what I will be teaching. You'll probably hear this from all professors for their classes, that they love their classes. That's a great thing. But IBT is one of the best classes around. You get to learn how to do business deals. You get to learn how to do business deals internationally. But as you're learning that, you also get to learn how to do them domestically. So it'll help you if you're at all interested in business in the States, as well as doing it internationally. Now, when we talk about international, then you get the added advantage of getting to play with culture and how that affects trade and deals and negotiations. And I really enjoy it. And so far, students have said that they found it useful, really enjoyable, and actually use an odd word for law school. Once in a while, they actually say that they had a lot of fun. So that's it for me. And Professor Martin or students, does anybody have any questions?
I do. If no one else has a question, I do have actually a lot of questions.
Sure.
And we have a lot of slides too, but anything in particular about Professor Paley's class?
I can wait till the slides are done and just reserve my questions for the end, if that's helpful.
Yeah, sure thing. I'm letting a couple more people into the room here. So let's see, 614
Hey, Professor Paley, I actually have a question regarding your class.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Precious Simone Wright. I'm a 1L here at Thurgood Marshall School of Law. And I know you said you teach business law, international business law. So currently in my contracts class in 1L, our professor does not talk a lot about the CISG. And I wanted to know if your class actually touches on that. And if so, what does that look like for the US and also international?
Wow. Well, can I ask you, Precious? Thanks for your question. How have you even heard of the CISG?
So, actually, it's in our textbook, and our professor absolutely hates it. So every chance he gets, we skip over it. But
Wow.
I saw a few interesting points in how, the CISG is very similar or would actually help with domestic contract law. But the book actually did say, a lot of professors hate it. So I just wanted to know what that looks like in your class.
Well, so this is a great question. And for anyone else who's out there, this is the Convention on the International Sale of Goods. You could think of it sort of like contract law and the UCC, but taken to international deals. And so, Precious, by all means, like do what your professor needs you to do for school and all that. And that your professor's probably way, way smarter than me. I just got to say, for international deals, people like using the CISG. It's a lot simpler and more direct than the UCC. We probably spend 25% of our class this summer using it and learning about it. It's thought of as a much more streamlined way to do business. And you'll make up your own mind. I'd love to see you in class, but I think that it's a great document just because it's one of those WYSIWYGs. What you see is what you get. It's a lot more straightforward. So great question, and love to have you in class and see what you think.
And I'm going to start the slides now, but I just want to tell them about the project down in Mexico. So Professor Paley and I are married, and we've been teaching. This is our fourth or fifth international program that we've either directed or taught in or both. And in one of them, they had to do this creative project, and somebody wrote an actual like a poem about us. And it started with, let me see, Natalie and Stuart sitting in a tree, reading a copy of the CISG.
CISG. Thanks, guys. Hope to see you guys this summer. It's really a great program.
Bye, Professor.
Bye-bye.
So it's a very CISG forward class. Let's just put it that way. I mean, he said 25%. I think it's actually much more. And I also go into that class. I teach a class for Spanish students for 2 weeks. And then when that's over, I will be one of the teachers in there as well. But Professor Paley's very, very fun teacher, as is Professor Martinez. So I'm going to start my slides. Let's see. We'll see if this works. We're going to share and then go into the slideshow. So guys, what I recommend, if you don't mind, is why don't you put your questions on a piece of paper and I'll gather them from you at the end. That way I can just kind of breeze through these. And there's a lot of good financial information in here. I'm going to see if I can move this little thing here that's in the way. Okay, so here we go. Uh-oh, it's not advancing. How come? Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to stop sharing for just a second here. Okay, so I'm going to try again to play this PowerPoint. Maybe I won't play it in full screen. Can you guys see the screen now?
No, ma'am.
You cannot. Oh, gosh.
No.
Of course, it has to be like this, right? One participant can share at a time. So share the screen. I'm not seeing it. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. This is not the way we were planning. Okay. Now I'm not seeing it at all, but one more time. Okay.
can see
How
your screen.
about now?
We can see your
Yes.
screen, but it's not open to the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I know. And I'm thinking if I want to try to open it, might work. See if I can advance this. So I'm not able to advance it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to let it not be in the PowerPoint. Let's see. Okay. I'll just buzz through these. So the program is basically it's almost 5 weeks now. You earn 5 credits Mondays through Thursdays, and you do get out of class at 1:15. So I gave a presentation at UNM earlier this week, and some of the students from last year said that they were able to get on like a 4 p.m. flight if they wanted to go to Morocco or wherever they wanted to go. There are no classes on Fridays. And of course, the program is in Madrid. We have lots of testimonials from students about how much they loved the program, but I'm going to buzz through those and get to the financial information. You can read them as I go through them, though. I mean, it's really a one-time opportunity to both live in another country and also really get a lot of credits for not a lot of money. One course everybody takes, guys, is called the Overview of European Law, EU law, and it's taught by Spanish professors, which is wonderful. That means that you get the coursework in English, but you're actually integrated into their community. And so all of you will take this. Next up, you will pick between these 2 classes, the International Business Transactions class, the International and Comparative Law of Economic and Climate Migration class. So that's more of an immigration class or a refugee class. You're going to see a lot of beautiful sites. And while we're there, we're going to go on 2 field trips. This is required by the ABA. So that's what we will do. And they're very interesting too. You get to see what lawyers actually do in Madrid. We will see many beautiful sites, and including a bunch of museums. Somebody is not muted.
They make me smile, and everybody kept saying, "Get the barbecue wings, get the barbecue." So I just flavors. I got the regular plain old wings, like they make fresh out of church, and I had got the
Karen, there you go. Okay, we're back to our slides. Okay. So Reina Sofia is one of the museums you're going to see. Here's the cost of attendance, guys. And so I'll have Krista talk a little bit later about this because since the slides aren't really working, but you can see that the total cost is around $10,000.
Miss Martin, we can't see the slides.
Oh no. I'm wondering, Krista, should I just send them to you? I don't know if you can even share them. I'll try one more time. You haven't seen any of this?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay.
We can see them
We can see it
now.
now.
You can
Yeah,
see them
there you
now.
go.
Can you still see it now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Stuart's also writing saying, I can't see anything. Okay. Do you want me to? I mean, so far it's just been pretty pictures and an overview of the courses, but I'll go back anyway. Here's the dates. Can you guys see those?
Yes, ma'am.
Yay. Okay. And we have some testimonials from students saying they loved it. It's been around since 2014. We're integrated into the community. Here's the course that everybody will take. It's a 2-credit class that meets like from 11 to 1:15 or 11:30 to 1:15. Here are the 2 courses you'll pick from. And then a few more sites. Go on 2 field trips. These will be on Monday through Wednesday, so you don't have to mess up your Thursdays if you want to travel. And a few more sites, museums. And here's the cost of attendance. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. Somebody's writing in to say something. Let's see. Yep, I'm going to send the code to one more person. But you can take a look at that and write down your questions. I'll explain them in a moment. So there's the application fee and this global education office fee. You have to pay those. The tuition, $5,297. You'll find that probably 5 credits just staying home might cost you that much. So that's why this is such an amazing program. And then these other things are estimates. So the round trip travel, we're assuming that you can get a flight for $1,700. And then the housing that we're assuming you can get housing for $1,350. We don't provide that. We're going to give you some tips in a minute. And then meals, we're putting in $850 for that. Books and supplies, $350. You have to buy the UNM insurance. You can't get your own. That's for $70. We put in a budget of $128 for local transportation and $300 for miscellaneous. So I might just stop here for a minute and see if, well, let's keep going for now, but the idea is that these are estimates. So you can get this $10,170, even though your flight might only cost $1,000. So I hope that makes sense. Let's stop for a second. Stop sharing. Okay, anybody want to ask a question about that budget? That is what's available to you in student aid.
Okay, so the 10,170 is what will be available student aid, correct? Okay.
And if you have to do more, like let's say, you have to have the really nice apartment for $3,000, probably you're not going to be able to get any more than the $1,350. There are ways to get around it. Talk to Krista and I if you have a slight need in that area, but basically $10,170 in loans. And that should cover most of your expenses. I should mention, and I'll let Krista mention things about this as well. There are a couple things you're going to have to pay up front, meaning, a deposit on an apartment and your airfare. When your student loans come in right before the program starts, you'll be paying yourself back. So this is just something to think about. Do you have the availability in your student loan or in your credit cards, or have a good friend or somebody, your mother, I don't know, that can help you to get your airfare and your deposit on your Airbnb or the dorm. Krista, anything else on that? Okay.
I have a
Okay.
just quick question as we're talking about finances. So we're not required to stay in terms of a living housing in a particular area or dorm. We can live wherever we want as long as we get to. Okay, cool, great.
Exactly. Yeah, you're going to be in charge of finding that. And since a lot of you are from the same school, it might be very useful to try to find some people to live with. Professor Martinez has lived in various places. Professor Paley and I like to live in Retiro Park area because it's on the Line 9. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute as we go through the housing slides. Anything
Hi.
else on the budget?
Yes. Well, yes. Hi, my name is Solivera. I am a 1L here at Thurgood Marshall School of Law. I do have a question in regards to the application fee. So, is there a set amount of students that you admit into the program, or whoever kind of wants to be in it, then you guys are granted?
So as long as you're in good standing, you are eligible for the program. Krista and I've had some experiences where we've had a lot of students by the end of December. So, the only thing we can really say is, if you're doing it, pay your fee and get your application in. Okay. So is there a certain number? I know we can't have more than about 45. We usually will let 50 in because some people, can't come at the last minute. Does that answer your question, Sola?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Somebody asked about Canadian financial aid. I have no idea. So why don't you send Krista and I a quick email if you're from Canada, and we will try to find out what we can for you. But the source for that would generally be your own law school. Right, Krista? Okay. All right, going back to the slides that I can't play.
I have a follow-up question. I was wondering what the GPA needs to be able to be admitted into the program.
You just have to be in good standing. So do you know what the GPA at your school has to be in good standing?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
it would be 2.0.
okay, thank you.
Okay, great. All right, I'm going to try again. Tell me if you see anything, guys. Guys, see anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Yay, thank you. Okay, so this again is not going to apply to the Canadian students, but This is how it works. The federal student loans for the Madrid Summer Institute may be awarded up to the amount of the cost of attendance that we just talked about, the 10,170. And in order to do this, you got to submit your FAFSA and then register for your courses. If you're from Thurgood Marshall, we will teach you, Krista will help you figure out how to sign up for 1 extra credit. We only do that for the Thurgood Marshall students because at Thurgood Marshall, you need to take 6 credits in order to get your student loans. So it involves a 1 credit independent study. Okay. And then it says if you're a non-UNM student, you have to ask your home institution for a consortium agreement and submit that via email to that financialaid@law.unm.edu. Okay, it says, do not attempt to fill in any information other than your name, student identifiers, and contact information. Once we get that, and you've paid, then you're in the program, and we just have to wait for your tuition. Write your questions down. More beautiful sites. Oh my gosh, I'll ask you guys later who's already been to Spain. Passports, guys. Now's the time to apply for a passport if you don't have them. Of course, the federal shutdown may make that different. Maybe you want to wait a little while, but you definitely want to give yourself a couple months if you don't have that yet. I'm going to also tell you how to find all of the same information on our website. Guys, as of April, the EU is going to require 1 other document in order to enter. It costs $30 to do it. It's not up yet, so we will keep you posted on that. More sites. Health insurance. We don't know what's going to happen in these international programs, so we require everyone who is involved in a study abroad program at UNM to get insurance. It's in the budget. It's very reasonable, and it's excellent insurance. It's also, we have a doctor on call for our program, and he takes this insurance. So this is all on our website. You go in and it's $14 per week. This is the link, which is on the website, and it's mandatory. So if you have some other insurance you want to use, they won't let you do that at UNM. Students traveling. Housing. We finally reached that moment where we're going to talk about housing. We do not provide housing. So it's each student's responsibility to get your own housing. Of course, it's best to do it before you get there unless you're a real thrill seeker. And there are a bunch of options. Most of you probably know about Airbnb. I have used that throughout the years, and sometimes they cancel you. The other downside is you have to pay everything up front. But if you have a group, that's probably the best way to get access to a lot of different options. There are also just some regular apartment sites that I will share links to, and they're also on the website. Those are going to require like a month's rent, a month's deposit, and so on and so forth. And for any of you who are interested in living right near school, we can talk about the pros and cons of that, but there are some dorms, and those are very reasonable. They're within the budget, and you get like 1 or 2 free meals. And it's right across this green that you walk from your little apartment in the dorm. They're single rooms to the school, like a 2-minute walk. The only problem with that is many people would prefer, if they could, to just live in town where all of the raging is going on. So it's really up to you. Do you want to travel to go out at night? There's not a lot of like restaurants and things of that nature at the dorms, but it's so handy. So here's where our place is located. You should write this down. It's called Vicálvaro, and it is an eastern suburb of Madrid. So you can live in that neighborhood. We don't really recommend it, and we'll tell you why at the end. It's much cheaper, but it's a working class neighborhood without very much to do at night. You can usually get much cheaper housing if you use that. And there's also housing in Retiro, where I like to live, and lots of other places, frankly. But I want to make a huge point here that if you could possibly find some housing on the Metro Line 9, that would be really good, because the stop for the Metro Line 9 is just at the doorstep of school. And so it goes throughout the entire city, and it does make things a little bit easier. So save your thoughts on the housing. You may want, in April, I will gather everyone together who has applied to see if you want to try out for one of these transportation cards. It's not a competition or anything, but it is in Spanish, so I can help you. The idea is that you get this one card and you get transportation for a whole month. Super handy. You don't have to buy tickets as you're getting on and off the metro, which most people use. And it's cheaper if you are under 26. If you're over 26 like I am, I still buy the card. It's a slight discount, but I love not having to wait in line to get on the metro. Just flash my card through the turnstile and go, go, go. Okay, so transportation, there is a metro that will take you to your apartment, but the first time when you arrive there, our recommendation is that you take a taxi. And you just go out to the curb and just take a cab to your location. It isn't any cheaper to use Uber, although it is cheaper to use the metro. You'll have all your stuff with you, and I think it'll just be easier just to take a cab when you're heading into town. Again, if you have people with you, awesome. If you don't, you'll be fine. I've come into the city by myself many times from the US and have taught in this program 6 or 7 times and directed it. So I want to talk about travel, but I think before I do, I'm going to stop this and see if anybody has any questions about housing. We can cover housing now. Should I go back to the slides?
I have one. If we are in the process of securing housing on our own, will we be able to come to you all to see, like, is this a good spot, or like, I guess to make sure that we aren't getting scammed or anything? Like, is there someone that we can like?
Yes, I think I won't volunteer you, Krista, but I really would love that, actually, Antoinette, if you would do that, because there are a couple areas that I think it's probably best to avoid. But yeah, that would be wonderful. And also, if you're going to stay in Vicalvaro, you want to make sure you're at the metro stop, the Line 9 metro stop, and not way down in the bowels of the suburb, which goes on forever. So yeah, if you want to do that, fantastic. We, of course, take no responsibility, but we'd love to provide input if you want us to.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. A lot of people like to live near Seoul, which is this huge bustling, it's like Central Park or something. Not really Central Park, more just like the literal center of Madrid. For me, that's overwhelming. You know, there's just a lot of people, and I prefer a little bit more quiet neighborhood, but some of the students really enjoy that. So we'll see. Okay, we're heading back into the presentation. So travel, guys. Here's a thought, do you want to come a little bit early or stay a little bit late? Some people come and they travel Europe for a week before. Some people do that afterwards. So that's just something to think about. We have a dog, so we don't usually stick around too much longer than we have to. But a lot of students do this. And then you may also have a job lined up for when you get back for a month or two. So just something to think about. And then when, start watching flights, start seeing what's coming up. You're going to want to apply first, and we're working on getting the link up for you to apply. But when you see a good deal, think about whether you want to stay longer or not, and then book. Save your comments on that. Travel, oh my gosh, it's so easy. You can see this bus in the picture. There's also just the metro, which we use constantly. There are high-speed trains and low-cost flights that will allow you to go from Madrid to other parts of Spain, Europe, and of course to Northern Africa, which is very close. We have traveled to a lot of different places: England, Norway, Ireland. Italy is a favorite of ours, but my own preference is to only go into another country twice during the 4 or 5 weeks, just because the airport can be a little bit overwhelming, and to use the other weekends for train travel. So here's some places you might want to go. Some students enjoying Madrid. We're getting to the end now. The food and drink are always a high point, and the nightlife. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and see what other general questions people have.
I have a question. Sorry, my name is not on here. I'm Zinsule Bonner. I'm a 2L. I think I missed the slide, or maybe it wasn't up at the time, but can you remind me the dates?
Yes. Let's see. Was that on the screen? Do you know them, Krista? You're muted.
Sorry. I believe it's May 26th until June 27th.
Yeah, I'm going to open the calendar. It's actually on the slides.
Yes, that's correct. I have it on the email. Yes.
Okay. So May 26th and May 26th to, was it June 27th?
Yes.
Okay, this is good to pin down, guys. So I'm going to look at the calendar now for a minute. So May 26th is a Tuesday. So classes start on a Tuesday. On the Monday, we'll have an optional sort of meet and greet probably at school. So you can find your way there and you know like how far it is and everything. Please try to get there by the 24th, which is the Sunday, or at the very, very least the 25th. We have gotten stuck on the way there a couple times, and you don't want to miss too many classes. Let me give this take this opportunity to also talk about attendance. So we have to comply with the ABA, and we have absolutely no flexibility in that. So you're only going to be allowed to miss 2 classes. And so we never recommend that you plan to use those for travel, because if you get sick, then you won't get your credits, and then you'll have to pay back your student aid. So get there on the Sunday if you can. And then June 27th is a Saturday. If you take your exams on Friday, you can leave on Saturday. But if you need a special accommodation, then you have to take your exam on Saturday. Like, we don't have a lot of extra rooms and things of that nature. So those are the dates. You got to be very careful with these absences. And let's face it, I mean, this is pretty generous anyway. You get to earn 5 or 6 credits in a foreign country, and get like every Friday off the whole time you're there. So that is so generous. Yeah, don't miss those. Don't try not to miss any classes unless you are sick or something. Other questions?
I have a question. I know you mentioned that we needed a 1 credit independent study course for Thurgood.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could speak a little more about that. And my second question was if your Spanish course for Spanish speakers that you mentioned would be available for that 1 credit independent course.
Yeah, so it's connected to the EU class. So it turns the EU class from a 2 credit class to a 3 credit class, and you write a paper and you do it after finals. So finals are on that Friday, June 26th, unless you need an accommodation. And then they generally will give you about a week, 5 business days to get the paper in. And you get to pick a topic that is discussed in the EU class. So maybe you'll do that, a couple of weeks before or a week before classes end. And I don't remember the page number, but it's whatever the ABA requires. And everybody who's taken the credit independent study has gotten the credit. So you can do it. And you might even have to do some of it from the US if you're going back home. You just send it by email.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of questions. Just to confirm, is the airport code MAD the one we're expected to fly into?
Let me just check it. I believe so. It's
Okay.
called like let's see. Madrid. Great question, by the way, Jeremy. Is it called Adolfo Suarez Madrid Barajas? Yeah, that's the one. Code MAD.
Cool. And then the second question is, I know the first professor I believe Professor Martin mentioned that it was intense. Just for clarity around what intense means, does that mean, and especially for those of us that are a little more ambiverted, are we together like all day? Is there going to be like opportunities to just kind of pull away if you needed to catch your breath for a second, be by yourself? Like, is it very intense? And like, are we together all day basically, with the exception of the weekends? And another question that I had that's losing me right now.
Okay, I'll answer this one first.
Okay.
So, you show up at 9 in the morning, which let me just tell you, I don't want to distract anybody or discourage anyone, but people are out all night in Madrid. That's not you guys from Monday through Thursday, because this is real school. So you show up at 9 a.m. You take Professor Martinez or Paley's class until 11:20. And then you have a 10-minute break to grab a coffee. And we really hope you will go into the second class at 11:30. And the EU class is from 11:30 to 1 or 1:15. And so that's it then. Then, Jeremy, if you don't want to deal with anybody else for the rest of the day, then you just go home, come back the next day at 9. Okay. There are a couple of field trips that will add to that, but let me give you a little sense of the workload as well. So think about it. They probably told you in law school that for every hour that you sit in a classroom, you should be studying for 2 hours a day, 2 hours for that 1 hour. So this isn't that different. I mean, when you get home, let's say you grab lunch or something with a friend, or you just go home, you get there at 2 o'clock. It is going to take you, I'm guessing, about 4 hours to prepare for the 2 classes. And so that means, or maybe 5 in some situations. So yeah, that's why it's intense. It's intense for the professors as well. But if you do that studying in the afternoon, you have your evening free. So Jeremy, does that answer the question?
Yes, I just didn't understand when he said intense, that was a little ambiguous in terms of, does it mean we're intense being together, intense of the workload? No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. No, I think it can be as not intense about being together as you want it to be. And sometimes people will come and they will actually bring their family, maybe they have kids or a partner. And so they don't want to hang out with the school crowd. And then many others, especially a lot of the younger ones, are looking to spend all their time, with their colleagues.
Yeah. No, that's really helpful. It's a lot of times when you travel with a group, especially for school or work, you want to be around people sometimes, and then sometimes you just want to have a second to yourself to recharge. And so I didn't know if we were expected to be with each other all day during class, or if we had opportunities to be alone. So thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, and we met some people from a group that was going to Baylor, and they had classes. I'm not exaggerating, you guys. For 5 credits, they had classes from like 10 in the morning until 6 at night, Monday through Thursday, and didn't get off until 2 on a Friday. I mean, I don't know what in the world they were doing that whole time, but they were very jealous, when they met us, because they were like, wow. I mean, that sounds much more reasonable, especially if you're, and I can't see you, so I have no idea your age, but if you've been around for a while, you might not want that sort of constant student experience.
Or want it sometimes when you just want it, and sometimes you just want to recharge. So that's helpful. Thank you so much for clarifying.
You're so welcome.
Hi, I have a question. What piece of advice or what would be the big takeaway that you would give a student who is experiencing international travel and a study abroad program for the first time? So with this specific program, what would you say, like, by the time you leave the program, this is what you should have experienced. This is your go home tip. What would you recommend?
Yeah. And I mean, of course, if anyone else has already studied abroad, or if Krista wants to chime in, that would be great too. But I think the first thing I would think about is my housing. So are you are there other people that who are going to go on this program?
Yes, we are here.
Okay. So, maybe that's helpful, right? Like, I know if Professor Paley can't come in the beginning of the program, like even I have traveled to 30 countries, it's I like to have my bestie with me, when I travel around, but not everybody does. I mean, you heard Jeremy, he's happy maybe to just wander around by himself, but I would first set up your tribe, right? Like, get your people together. And then what would I not want to miss? Well, a lot of people like to stay in Spain. That's why I'm so excited. I know it's 9:47, but I would be so excited to hear about like places you want to travel. I'd probably go on weekends to some places in Spain. I would totally take advantage of the museums in Madrid. It's one of the most international cities. Just so amazing. It's also I don't know, they sort of specialize in fun. And I'll give you a couple of examples. I mean, they're just very, very fun people. The Pride Parade is like the largest Pride Parade in the world. So occasionally we will not go away that weekend so we can go to that. It's a lot of people. But I think museums, going maybe to a couple of other countries, I just think that might be very special. Not every weekend. I mentioned the weekends. I mentioned some places in Spain, like people like Toledo and Sevilla, and there's a lot of other places in Spain to travel. I think that's about it. I mean, any other thoughts by Krista or anyone else in the class that's traveled abroad? Some things that she should experience.
If no one has a chime in, or you guys can share with me after, but I just wanted to mention you saying like traveling around Spain. So I actually did visit Portugal, and we took a day trip to Barcelona, and we were only there for about 8 hours because it was a day trip. And I'm like, I need to go back as soon as possible. But I just wanted to know your opinion on, like, before you leave, obviously we're there for school and scholarship and to earn our credits, but outside of the program, in terms of just life experience, I wanted to know your thoughts on that.
Well, you mentioned Portugal. This is like you can rent a car with some friends or you can fly there. And I love Portugal. Like, I wouldn't go to Spain without going to Portugal. I love the food. The people are amazing. It's cheaper than Spain. So that's a big, for me, I don't like to miss Portugal. You mentioned Barcelona. I'll go there once every 5 years or so. It's full of Americans, just packed with them. It's like, you might as well just stay home. I'm kidding. I'm sure somebody is now going to say, you have to go to Barcelona. It's pretty cool. So maybe you take the fast train there and spend a couple nights there. Who else has a comment about what Precious might not want to miss? Anybody?
I was in Rome. So when I took my trip to Europe, I went to several places like from Paris to Rome, and it was pretty nice. The train transportation system is pretty cheap, so you can get around to a lot of places for pretty cheap whenever you're in Europe. So that's just my input there.
Yeah, I love that. Paris, London, I like Italy. We always fly, but I think this is a great idea on the train. Somebody that was in the group on Tuesday at UNM said that he took the train somewhere every single weekend. And what he would do is he'd get on the train as soon as he could on a Thursday, study on the way there, right? Because you're just sitting there, look out the window, prepare all of his coursework for the week, for some of the next week, and then same on the way back. So you have that time, which is kind of nice. Other questions?
Thank you, Gabby, and thank you, Ms. Martin.
Yeah.
I have a question. Would you say that Spain is safe to travel around if you're like a young woman by yourself?
Yeah, I really would. I mean, you want to be a little bit, like somebody was saying Tuesday, one of the professors was saying she feels comfortable walking around in the middle of the night. I do not think that's a good idea. I don't care where you're going, but anywhere in the world is safer than the US. I'm sure you know that. And for the most part, there's some pickpocketing going on here and there, but there's not much violent crime. And I think it is very safe, especially before dark, almost anywhere. Now, I'm not super familiar with, somebody was going to take this Egypt cruise that's for Spanish people. this woman in my contracts class, which sounded super fun. Like, I don't know anything about that, or I don't know anything about Morocco, but I think for the most part, those places are probably really safe too, right?
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Other questions? Yeah. Hey, thank you for that one. Is it Karen? Or Karen? Yes, it's Karen. Okay. So here's the somewhat bad news. And I just want to really apologize in advance. I know we've had a lot of problems on the call anyway. The link is not up yet for you guys to apply. So I'm going to ask while you're on the phone right now, if you could send me, not in the chat or anything, but just send me an email at martin@law.unm.edu. You're just going to put in the subject line, give me notice when the link is live. So martin@law.unm.edu. Excellent. Thank you, Karen. The M is small case, but it shouldn't matter. So you can wait till after the call if you want, but just send me an email and Krista and I will notify you when the link is live. I can't think of another way other than just making you keep trying, but sadly it looks live, right, Krista? It looks like it's working and it's not. And so somebody on this call already tried to do it and was like, woohoo, but it's not live. I am doing my best, guys. There you go. Thank you. So that's that. That's the news I was about to drop, that you can't apply just yet. Questions?
I have a question regarding the application process and everything that's required for the application. If you don't mind, can you just give us a brief overview of what documents we would need, if there's any letters that we may need, or just like any supporting or supplementing documents?
Krista, I have to rely on you for this.
So you will need to get a letter of good standing from your school. There's no particular GPA that we're looking for. We just have to know that you're, in a pretty much like a degree granting program, and that you're in good standing. So we do need to have that. You, of course, will need to provide the passport. You will need to provide a little bit of information on your health insurances. We do want to see that what actual classes you're going to be taking. And we're going to want to see your contact information, because we do send out a lot of emails just to keep you aware of what's going on, where you are in the process. So we will be reaching out like that. But we're also always available, via email at madrid@law.unm.edu. And we're also available on phone. So you can give us a call and kind of check in as we go along in the process. But like Professor Martin says, the application isn't live yet, but we are hoping to get that up very, very soon to make sure that we get the people coming in who are really interested. And we really do want to have you involved. It's a really good program and such good education and such fun.
Yeah. And it's basically a form, guys. It's just, and we'll ask you to put a picture, like just kind of upload your picture and then your name, your address, your favorite email. Asks you, you're not registering until April, but it asks you which course you think you'll take. And just all the same stuff that Krista said. It's going to be information that you have readily available. Then you pay, your fee that they're asking for. And then later, the consortium agreement and the good standing certificate. You'll also want to, eventually don't they have to download pictures of their passport and, prove that there's little check marks Yes, you've bought the insurance. Yes, you've put in your passport. You've put in your email and so on. I don't think it's burdensome. This is why it's taking us a while this year. We've tried to make it more simple for you guys. Yeah. And so the question about Canada, how many people are in Canada? Me, Kelly. Let's talk offline. And Paige. Oh, this is so exciting. So, Krista, you guys must have sent this to people in Canada. We've never had anybody from Canada before. This is awesome. Yeah, I mean, whatever the good standing certificate is, I mean, do you have to prove it's towards your degree program? And here's what we do in the US. You're eligible for the program as long as you have completed 1 year of law course study. So I think we should talk offline and we'll see, what else. I'm going to look in the chat now. Let's see here.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Yes. So, is there, I hear all of the check marks that we need to go through. Are there any occasions where someone can check off all of those boxes and they don't get accepted into the program?
No, not if you're in good standing. Unless, the big unless, I mean, we do remember, I don't know, the first year after COVID, we were full, basically by the end of December. So I think the time to apply is like once finals are over, probably. Or
as soon as the link goes live, if we send you that email, then we'll be able to apply then.
Sure, you can do that too. I mean, as soon as I have the live link, I'm praying it's this week.
Okay.
But it's already Thursday, so might be Monday or Tuesday. I hope not. And the website, Krista, can you get the website link up? I'll tell you how you find it on Google. You just put in UNM and then a space, and then put in Madrid Summer Law Institute. And the website is unbelievable. Thank you so much, Krista. There's all these little tabs about housing and transportation and the cost of the program. It's an exceptionally good webpage that contains tons of information. That doesn't mean we're not here for you guys.
Yes, I see that. Okay, and then I'm sorry, I have one more follow-up question. Krista had mentioned information about your health insurances. I know that you all said that we had to get a health insurance through UNM. Is it okay that we just have that health insurance through UNM if we don't have our own health insurance at the moment?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody they got to get insurance in general, but this insurance is awesome insurance.
No, I want to get this insurance for sure. I'll get this insurance, but I currently don't have health insurance. So if I were to fill out the application, I didn't know if I was missing that information, if that would affect.
No, it's just that. It's
okay.
Just the one for this program. Like, it's because if we had to be airlifted or something.
Right. Absolutely. No, absolutely. Get the health insurance. I just don't have any right now. It's just student.
Yeah, cool. And healthcare is, cheaper and better over there anyway.
Right.
And stuff you can get over the counter, which is awesome. Hopefully you won't need it.
Right. Well, thank you so much. It sounds like an amazing program.
We are so excited to see so many of you on here. I haven't counted the heads, but it looks like about, I don't know, what do we think? About 20 people or 25 people on the call. Yeah, Krista put the webpage into the chat. So as you are just sort of working through finals and waiting for the link to get live, just have some fun getting ready, look for flights and apartments. If you're in good standing and you apply by the end of the year, you're going to get in for sure. And you may even be able to apply a little later than that, depending on how much demand there is. So I'm so excited to see all of you, like so excited. This makes me want to book my own airfare.
Hi, Krista. I'm sorry. I have one last question, I hope. In terms of the application materials, you did not mention anything about a writing sample. I just wanted to clarify as a 1L, is that something that you guys are looking for?
We do not need a writing sample. No.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I mean, we literally just need to know that you're going to be able to pull this off financially, that you're in good standing at your school and you've finished 1 year of law school. And that's it. And we're off and running. And Again, so excited. So excited for you guys. So before we hang up, I know we have a lot of Thurgood Marshall people. If you don't mind, and you have 30 seconds more, if you are from one of the other schools, do you mind telling me what that school might be? Because I want to find out where our information is going. So the two Canadian ones, where are you guys from? Okay, Lakehead University. So you guys are law students though, right? Okay. I know it's a different system. Good. And how about the rest of you? The chat's fine if you don't want to. Anybody else want to share your school? Wow, it looks like a lot of Thurgood Marshall people. Great. Well, we love all of you. We don't have favorites, but we do very much love Thurgood Marshall law students. So I think we're ready. Windsor Law. So that's in Canada too. So wow, this is going to be awesome. We'll be international before we even get there. Anybody else? Okay, we'll hang on for a minute if anybody else wants to, but we are so grateful for you all. And I'll look forward to your emails so that we can send you a live link as soon as we have it. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excited.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Martin and Krista. Have a good one.
So welcome. Thank you, Precious. Gabby, Jesse, Bree, anything?
I do have a question. Since I will be applying to transfer to UNM for my 2L year, yes, how does this fit into my overall courses or my degree? Yes.
Very interesting question. So the UNM students generally get their grades. Those grades go on their transcripts. The ones from the other schools don't get figured into their GPA. So I don't know if you want to write this down, Kristen, maybe ask Renee. My gut instinct is that the credits you would get the grades instead of just, that would somehow go into your future UNM GPA.
Okay.
Where are you going now, Gabby?
Thurgood Marshall.
I'm excited that you're coming to UNM. That's so great.
Yes, I'm very excited, and hopefully I get accepted as a transfer. And yes, UNM has been my first choice. I was waitlisted last time, so I came to Thurgood Marshall, but I am from El Paso, so UNM is nearby, and I grew up in New Mexico, so that's my main reason and my target school, UNM. So hopefully I get to join UNM for my 2L.
Great. Well, I'm excited that you're going to try to do Spain. I'm sorry, Krista, were you going to say something? Okay. Hooray. Okay. Well, hope to see you, Gabby, in Spain, and then maybe in my bankruptcy class or my consumer law class or something else.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
My computer is about to die, so I'm gonna log
Okay,
off.
okay, cool. Talk to you soon, and Yeah, I think, you know, other than the technical problems and this poor thing with you know, that you needed a password or whatever, that was kind of a problem. But maybe we'll do another one of these. And actually, my housekeeper's coming in right now, so I'm going to also hang up.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.